All right, well, we didn't have a lot of exotics, but we got our lineup out here now, and I commend every one of y'all. From the youngest heifer up there that Ben's got, that's a nice Angus cross female that, just very fundamental. She's a little more towards the Angus side just in terms of maybe her feature, but very sound, very good bellied, very feminine, and really you get it behind her, she's got more thickness than maybe what you would anticipate just based upon the read of her feature from the side. She's a little stubborn and still getting used to the program. Chloe, what a marvelous little showman you are. You stand out in front of her and get a great job done. This heifer I really like a lot. She's very, very fresh in terms of her composition, just super high quality and very authentic in terms of her rib and her muscle in a very maternal design. Kinsey, your heifer, again, I think a lot of the same package, maybe even equals her in terms of neck or bone. I thought maybe the heifer in front of you, I assume your sister is she's probably just a little bolder maybe in terms of the wrap of her cage or the uniformity of her bottom line, and just having a little more real muscle right there through her hip and stifle. But I still think yours is very good in terms of the fundamentals. And then Bristol, your big heifer again, great heifer, just want to see her pregnant. Want to see her get some calves on the ground and start paying her rent, if you will. So that's a nice heifer, and hopefully that'll happen for you. So my champion here for me is pretty straightforward. I like Miss Chloe's heifer right here. Let's give her a big round of applause. What a smile Chloe has here. Reserve champion, we're going to go with Kinsey.
Champion exotic heifer of your 2025 Bi-County Stock Show goes to Miss Chloe Thomas. Your reserve champion exotic goes to Miss Kinsey Thomas. Let's congratulate both of those young ladies on a pair of beautiful heifers this morning, or this afternoon, I guess. And next class, we're going to start in our British or our English heifers. Class 5, we have Miss Chloe Thomas and Mr. Braxton Gillum. Followed by that, we're going to have 4 entries in the next class. So we're going to step our entries per class up when we get into the English division here. We'll give them just a minute to make their track star run around and get rolling them in. Again, we've got Chloe Thomas and Braxton Gilliam.
Braxton, you got to keep an eye on Chloe's heifer there. She might fire one on you. She's pretty loose in the sauce. Hey, these two heifers are totally different once again. I think y'all can all see that, even a novice evaluator. We've got one that's a little bigger framed and going to be longer growing, and then Braxton's little heifer, a really nice little moderate made, deep-sided heifer. And so you just pick what you want to prioritize and go with it. I think both of them are quality for what they represent. Chloe, your heifer, she draws you in from the side, and in terms of that length of neck and how she parks it up on top of her shoulder, her elevation to her chest and the way that matches back to her navel, and just her strength of spine, her squareness of hip, and her extra bone. To me, she's got just both of them maybe could be just a little bendier in their hock, but she's probably got a little bit more slope or length to her pasture, and then just maybe just a little more natural width with a bit more growth. Braxton, your heifer, again, deeper sided. You'd love to have just a pasture full of heifers like her from the standpoint that, they're going to hold their condition and be the kind that don't need a lot of extra supplemental maintenance and should breed in and year out. She's just a little chubbier there in terms of her neck length. I'd like to maybe just gauge her just a fraction wider and square there as she goes away. But I think a really nice pair of heifers. We're going to go with Chloe in first here and Braxton in second. But I thought they both did a marvelous job. Proud of both of them.
Class 1 of your English heifers, first place goes to Miss Chloe Thomas. Second place goes to Braxton Gilliam. Class 6, which will be Class 2 of your English heifers, we've got Brooks Gilliam, Sophie Fisk, Dirk Daniels, and Peyton Perez. We have 4 entries in your next class.
Joe.
All right, I don't know how many of y'all are hooked up here on the sidelines and judging, but you got to do finally a little bit of judging here amongst these four. And if we polled the audience, I bet we might have every heifer in first and we might have every heifer in fourth. This is a very competitive class, and I want you four youngsters to keep working hard, hold your head high. You know, showing the good thing about it is you learn how to win, you learn how to lose, right? And you learn how to keep working regardless if it's your day or not. So I just encourage all the young people out here to keep doing that. I'll just speak to the cattle and tell you what I see, but it is a very, very close alignment of 1 through 4. I led the cattle for 2 laps to see what type of endurance that we had, not in the first place heifer, but in the first place young man right there. Dirk, I was testing to see just how wore out I could get your arm. I'm kind of teasing, but you know, as this heifer settles down, I think you're going to find one that, you know, is really, really sound. I probably like her hind leg as good as any of them in terms of just natural cushion and flex and consistency. Now, I'm not telling you it's the most attractive hip and hind leg in the world, but I think the way she uses is extremely functional. And I think that heifer has a shot more thickness and muscularity than Peyton's heifer there in second. That's a little fancier. I think she's got a little more boldness working through her center body. When she is willing to hold her head up, which wasn't frequent, she is very smooth in terms of her shoulder. So just keep working her. You get her broke, and she'll do even better than what you did here. Because I think that heifer there has got a lot of potential. She just needs to figure out how to show. Peyton, your heifer, you do a fine job. She was a little stubborn as well. I love her pigment. You know, and Dirk's heifer is not bad in that regard, but from a Hereford perspective, I like her pigmentation there around her eyes. And you step off to the side of that one, and that one there, her lines are second to none in this class. She's a little neater, I thought, up to her front 1/3. Where I would like to upgrade her just a bit is her hook bone back, and there down to the ground, just intensify her just a bit in terms of stoutness. But, you know, there'd be a lot of folks that do that pair the other way, Peyton, just because your heifer is a little better looking. So those 2 cattle are very nice. the heifer that we've got down here in third of Brooks. Brooks, your heifer's a tank. You know, she's never going to be very tall, but I don't know any cowboy that wants tall cows. They want thick and dense and chunky cows, and she's going to fit the bill there. She's a little shorter neck, you know, she kind of goes with the style. She's maybe just a little deeper in terms of her chest. Make sure you don't get her too fat too quick. She'll get fat on dirt if you're not careful. That calf's real thick and just real chunky and real nice. He said that one there is a black-red carrier in terms of a black Angus with a red gene. And then Sophie, your heifer here is a lot the same as the heifer in front of you. Just kind of a belly dragger. She's got such a cute little face on her. She's got a real plump cheek on her. This looks like she'll stay really easy keeping in the kind of cattle that we need. She's maybe just a little piecier at times in terms of the way she lays her shoulder down. I could maybe square her up just a little bit and roll her back in her blade just a bit if I had to pick on her. But I think she's very nice. All four of y'all deserve a big round of applause. Let's give it to them. Congratulations.
We saw his official placings, but he didn't give us his cuts in the class, so nobody could grade their score. In here. Dr. Rathman, you didn't give us your cuts. First place in that class goes to Dirk Daniels. Second place goes to Peyton Perez. Brooks Gilliam is in 3. Sophie Fisk is in 4. 4 exceptional heifers in that class. Class 7 in your English division consists of John Paul Fisk, Judd Daniels, and Libby Perez. Again, I am holding a Transova gift card in the value of $500 that is going to be donated to your grand champion heifer today. This gift card is to be used through Transova, through their operations and to improve and to better your cattle herd through their genetic bank that they have there and the services they offer.
Yeah, you're on.
So grand champion heifer today will get a $500 gift card to be used there in Transova. So let's thank them.
I think you got scanned. And you clicked on that link from this morning? Because when I click it, it just takes me.
Well, another very, very nice class of spring British heifer calves, and I like all three once again. I don't think I've seen a bad calf yet in our heifer show, and Libby's got the heifer that's a little antsy up here right now. She just got to get out in public a few more times, and she'll settle right down. Libby, I think you got a well of a nice heifer here. When you start studying the quality to that female's head, she looks feminine, but yet there's some stoutness in there. Her pigment's perfect. Just the way she comes right at you. She's very square built off both ends, and just really true in terms of the way she lays her blade into the side of her body, but yet opens back progressively, bolder in terms of her center rib. And then, you get her settled from the side, and that female right there has a beautiful neck. And then just her blend and balance and the way she proportions in her lines, I was really drawn to. So I see a lot of upside in that particular female, and she's doing a very, very nice job with her. The heifer that we got here in second at Judd's. Judd, there's nothing really majorly wrong with kind of your speckle-headed kind of horn heifer there. That female, very fundamental, very smooth, very feminine. I saw her to be maybe just a little more triangular in terms of the way that she carries in her hind quarter from the side. Maybe like to see just a shot more boldness about her in that respect, but her center body's quite good. She's very sound. She'll never have much leg hair or big legs, but I think it's smooth joint work. She looks like a lady. She'll make a great cow. She's got good female character about her. The heifer that we've got here in 3 at John's, again, kind of one of those belly draggers that will stay fat on air, and that'll be a good thing in time. Here in the ring here already as a calf, she's probably just a little chunkier through her chest. We just got to slow her down a little bit. She's not quite as just maybe elegant in terms of the feature of her head, or as long in her neck, or as neat in the way that her blade and knee lay back into her, but I think that's still a tremendous cow. Let's give all three of these exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Class 3 of your English division. First place goes to Libby Perez. Second place, Judd Daniels. Third place, John Paul Fisk. The last and final class, Class 4 of your English division, we have Jacob Meyer and Kinsey Thomas. Oh, that's not the last class. That's just Class 4. After the selection of your junior heifer in the English division in this class here, we're going to have champion junior heifer of the English division. From Class 1 of that division, I need Chloe Thomas. Class 2, I need Dirk Daniels. Class 3, I need Libby Perez. And then the class winner of this one, the Wall Show show in there, we'll have correction one more time. I need the class winner of Dirk Daniels and Libby Perez, and then the class winner here will all show for our junior heifer calf in our English division.
All right. Kinsey, despite the fact your heifer tried to take me out, I'm going to start her. Won't be the first time a female tried to take me out. That happens nearly every day at my house. But this heifer here is big-legged, really long neck, got some really neat pieces. She's a little piecey in the way she maybe blends right now in her forerib and shoulder. But it's not because she's obnoxious in her shoulder or anything. She's just maybe just still a little bit greener right there in her forerib and heart, but very deep right there to the base of her navel. And again, I like her hind leg real well, I like her stoutness. She's just a little bit alert, which adds to her look, but makes it a little bit more challenging here, Kinsey. So just keep your patience with her. She'll be fine. You're doing good. Jacob, your little red Angus heifer, I really like her head, and I like her broodiness. Her body capacity is awesome. And again, very easy fleshing. We've had several like her so far. She's a little bit toothpick-legged, maybe just a little flatter in her feet. And so she doesn't come across, as stout as that one right now. But in terms of cow traits, she's very good. And so I think you ought to be very proud of her. Congratulations to you, Jacob.
Class winner is Kinsey Thomas. Second place would be Jacob Meyer. To have our champion junior heifer calf in the English division, I need Dirk Daniels out of Class 1, Libby Perez out of Class 2, and Kinsey Thomas out of Class 3.
Dirk, on a scale of 1 to 10, how wore out are you now?
5.
A 5, okay. That's fine. We got a long ways to go then before we tire you out. This is a nice group of cattle. In my mind, every show you go to is always fascinating. The quality's good here. Each one of these classes is fascinating to me, and I'll just be transparent because, you're looking at animals, and the way I'm trying to place them is based on the fundamentals, but it's also based on hey, which heifer do I think has the most breeding value as registered cattle? And when I say breeding value, we're talking about creating value in their progeny as, bulls or show heifers. And so I guess what I'm getting to is, that's what I've mainly done here, is placed emphasis on the way I see their breeding value. Because you could argue that some of the heifers that we place down in each of those respective classes that are just stay fat on nothing are more of what you want in an ideal commercial cow. But there's nothing wrong with the functionality of these out here. They're quite good. So anyways, Dirk, your heifer, again, I like her because of her function. She wants to stick her tail out and her pin down, and so she doesn't look attractive from that standpoint. But in my opinion, when that heifer would naturally stand, there's nothing wrong with that one's balance, and I like her body construction and just how neat she lays together. Libby, I think your heifer is gorgeous. I think she's just got such an awesome head on her. Her neck, her blend of blade, and the way she opens back in her forerib. She's very good in terms of body shape to still be pretty green. And so I see that female only getting increasingly better with time. She's very attractive here in her hip and hind leg set. You know, maybe every once in a while you can make it a little more consistent when she's traveling. But other than that, I just don't see many problems with that one. That one there, I think, has a lot of upside. This heifer out of the last class behaving a little better now. And she's got the big hind leg, like I said, just like to maybe organize her a little neater in terms of her top line and the way she draws together there, forerib to shoulder. My champion's going to be Libby. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Champion junior division, go to Perez. I need Judd Class.
Tess. It's hard to beat a cute little young lady in a cowgirl hat showing a Hereford with a wooden show stick, isn't it? All right, Judd, your heifer here is really feminine, very smooth, very sound. I do like her well. My second favorite in this division, though, is going to be the one that's misbehaving here. Dirk, your heifer is going to be my reserve. Congratulations to you.
Again, your champion is Libby Perez, and Dirk Daniels is your reserve champion, junior heifer of your English division. Let's congratulate these individuals. Next class is going to be Class 9 in your senior heifer calves in your English division. I have 2 entries in that class, McKenna Moore and Cambry Lenz.
Well, it's a very close pair for me. You know, I like McKenna's heifer from the standpoint is, you know, we're rolling around to now the fall in terms of age between these two. My expectation for where we ought to be from a body standpoint starts to increase, you know, because I can forgive some of those younger heifer calves just being green, or maybe on first calf heifers or just lighter nutrition. And so, you know, now I have a greater expectation. And this female here, I think just a little cowier middle, and yet she's still long and extended. She's a little high in her tail head. I'd like to pull that down in her just a bit, but I like the set to her hind leg well. It's certainly one that's going to last with a lot of longevity in the long run, and she's going to make a nice cow, I think. The heifer that Camber's got right here, you know, beautiful neck, really beautiful in her hair, and stout down her top. Got some fitness to her, and she's got a nice hind leg as well. I would just like to see her a little deeper from her heart back to her flank, maybe pull her pin set up just a bit. And she's very long neck. I would probably like to see her head just a little bit shorter, maybe just a little bit stouter. Congratulations to both of y'all. Y'all got a nice pair of cattle.
First place in your senior heifer calf in your English division, McKenna Moore. Second, Cambry Lenz. Class 10 in your senior heifer calves in your English division, I need Henry Meyer and Peyton Perez.
All right, nice pair of gentlemen here with a good pair of heifers. Peyton's kind of dark-nosed, smutty, kind of black-eyed heifer here is going to win. Really a nice female. I like this one in terms of just her frame score. She's a September, he said, and she's really just middle of the road. Has some performance, but is never going to be very tall. She's got just a good mold center cavity to her. I thought just the right amount of width as you move in behind her for her breed type. And then just a pretty proportional, balanced look here from the side. Very sound fronted and does a good job moving. She wants to maybe curl just a little bit in terms of how she's positioning her right rear ankle. Maybe could go just a little more confidence there, but collectively an outstanding heifer. Henry, your black heifer, you know, she's a little skinnier, which is fine. A lot of these show heifers will get them way too fat. She'll be just fine, Henry. I think you're doing a good job. She's long and lean in terms of her lines in her neck. Very feminine in terms of her head. She's not quite as wide. I think even if they were at the same condition score, she's maybe just a little bit out horse, but I do like her in terms of just her movement. She gets out and travels very free. She's an excellent project. You've done a fine job with her. Let's give Henry and Peyton a nice round of applause.
Class 10 winner is Peyton Perez. Second place be Henry Meyer. I need Miss McKenna Moore and Peyton Perez back for your champion senior heifer calf in the English division.
Got one, but I did not 10, so one more.
Well, here in this division, a nice pair of winners, and McKenna's heifer again for Angus heifer, big and long and deep and growthy. Could be just a little more attractive perhaps in a few areas, tail, head, or hind leg, but I think an outstanding heifer. And then Peyton, your heifer, she's got a lot of character from a head standpoint for her breed, but yet she's got kind of that plump cheek and that easy feeding or easy keeping look, I should say. I think she'll be easy to maintain, but yet I think probably here in the ring, she probably still brings herself together a little more collected in her top line. I like where her tail head lays relative to her pin bone, and I just really do appreciate her natural thickness. It's not extreme, but it's progressive. I think a nice entry. So yeah, both of y'all did a nice job. I'm going to use Peyton's Hereford heifer here to be my champion in this division. All right, my man Henry's back in the ring. He does a fine job. Got a good-looking female. Both of these have a similar level of perhaps just altitude, if you will, and stretch and extension from the side. I think both are going to make fine cows. There's probably a little more density to McKenna's heifer. We're going to go that direction. McKenna will be my reserve champion in this division.
How's it looking? We're at 8? 11? Oh, you have it right there, right? This one?
Class 1 of your junior heifers in the English division, McKenna Moore and Kenzie Thomas. Next class and the final class of the heifer show will be junior heifers in the English division. In class 12 will be Chloe Thomas, Kenzie Thomas, Brennan Sage, and Libby Perez. In this class, McKenna Moore and Kinsey Thomas.
Well, a nice pair of summer-born heifers, and we're going to start McKenna's Angus. That's an awfully good heifer. Good stock are good at the ground first, and you look right at the ground, and that female's got some big feet with a good claw shape. She's got a great ankle to her. Above that, that female's broody. She's got some real performance. Decades ago, Angus cattle were kind of ground pounders. Nowadays, they're our growthiest cattle that we've got. This female is probably pretty indicative of just that performance and that breed. But yet with a cowy middle and a lot of natural thickness, I think you shear her head off and you'll like just the quality of her head. She floats around the ring and she's proportionally balanced. It's awfully good female. The heifer that we got here in second, Kinsey, your female, long neck, deceivingly wide pin. She's not doesn't have that bubble for a butt from the side, but you walk in behind her, that's a really wide-ended female. She wants to maybe get a little under herself and not stride with quite as much just reach and range of motion down at the ground, but that's a nice female. It's got some unique pieces to breed on.
Class champion, Miss McKenna Moore. Second place, Miss Kinsey Thomas. Class 12, our final placing class of the day. In your junior heifer English, I've got Chloe Thomas, Kinsey Thomas, Brennan Sage, and Libby Perez.
best day of my life. Like any anxiety. I've been like, it's been keeping me up a couple of days.
Well, this is a fun little class. All four of them, once again, I think are very, very good. There's a little bit of give and take in terms of what you got to decide. You can your stomach or how you want to emphasize traits, and you might align these first three a little different. And then Brendan, your effort down there is very nice, very stout. Just got to give these other three are bred, and so from a judge's perspective, you know, at this age, it would put a little emphasis on that. But I think as you get that heifer there pregnant, she's got a lot to offer in terms of transmitting some really stout genetics to her progeny. Moving your attention back to these top three, for me, the top two Shorthorns are just a little stouter in terms of just their column of bone, just a little bit neater in terms of their look. And then you got Libby's heifer that is just a good, honest, birdie, pretty flexible, probably the soundest one in the class, but just a little fat and maybe just a little plain in terms of hooks to pins once you melt her down. And so, you know, you could go that direction. I kind of see Libby's heifer as a little bit the wild card. But for me personally today, I gravitate towards this red roan female up front just because I think she just screams quality in terms of her neck, the way she carries herself down her spine, just the organization and levelness of it, but yet pliable enough in motion. And then I for me, like a breeding animal, even though I know they're heifers with a little more power, and she's got some real honest dimension to her, as honest as anything in this class. And you can see it from the side. You don't have to go get in behind her. You can see some real length of stifle in that female. I think she balances the truest from her chest line and back into her ribbon flank. And then, you know, you watch her move. I have a little bit of a reservation, I'm not going to lie, about the action of her hock, but I think it's tempo dependent. There's times where she would kind of drag it a little bit in a little bit of a concerning fashion, and other times where she was more willing to just lift it and reach it, and then I'm okay with it. And I think standing there, I certainly don't mind her feet. They're really good. I don't mind her ankles. I don't mind her slope to her shoulders. So that's a really nice heifer, and I think in her respective breed, going to be very, very tough. That's a good heifer for you, Kinsey. Chloe here in second, done a superb job in terms of showmanship once again. She's got a long neck, big-legged, wide-ended type shorthorn female with a really big center body. And so I think you start listing those traits out. In fact, she may be as big boned as any. You know, you say, well, why is that not the winner? Well, she protrudes out just a little bit more in her chest. I think she maybe doesn't blend quite as well back into her forerib and to the base of her heart relative to her scapula as that super round-ribbed heifer I just started. She's got a little more cake in terms of pone fat relative to just the shape of her stifle from the side. And so, you know, she's plenty good enough structurally, gigantic, good feet, claw set, awesome. She could go just a little better herself from behind. I called that a wash. Just went with the heifer that I think's a little neater in the way she puts herself together. Libby, again, I love your heifer's kind in terms of function. She's probably the class leader. And she moves awesome, just so birdie. I just want to lean her up just a bit in terms of her chest and to give her a little more look here in the ring, and then get in behind her and just see her just a little wider in terms of hooks to pins. But that's an outstanding heifer, and you know, kind of comparing apples and oranges with that Hereford versus the two Shorthorns. Then Brendan, again, I will tell you, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. There's good pieces here in your heifer, and you should be proud of her. She's really wide top, really stout-ended, huge hind leg, squishy ankle. Some of these things are hard to make in cattle, and she's got it. just go ahead and get her bred, and then she'll belly down and look a little softer even versus those 3 heifers up front that are already carrying a calf. And so she'll do good for you, and I wish you the best. Let's give her a nice round of applause here in this nice competitive class.
Class champion in class 12 would be Kenzie Thomas. Second place is Chloe Thomas, Libby Perez, and then rounding out the class would be Brennan Sage. I need Miss McKenna Moore out of class 11 and Miss Kenzie Thomas out of class 12 for selection of your champion junior heifer in the English division.
Well, these are 2 outstanding heifers. Again, I think everybody can see that. They balance. They've got some bone to proportion with their stoutness. They've got some real dimension, even if they were thin, and eventually they will be in their cow life. They're in many times of our droughty region, and they're still going to be thick. They're not going to just melt away and blow away with the sand. I mean, these 2 females here are pretty dense. The differences that I see, McKenna, your heifer, I think is probably a little safer bet just in terms of just the way she's built in her hock and the reach and flex of her hind leg. I would lower her tail head a little bit. Part of that, she's got good hair up there, and so it's a little hard to maybe just haul off in there at the county show before you go to all these majors and just clip all that down. But I would lower that just a bit. I don't really see any major holes in your heifer. I think she's very, very nice. The heifer that Kenzie's got, the Shorthorn, she may be the most intriguing heifer of all these cattle. I don't know if y'all recognize just how elite that female is in the barrel of her body design. That's really hard to build in livestock. And she is very unique in that sense. The way she comes so high in her chest and flows through her shoulder to have that type of cage sitting in behind it is what I love about your heifer. I would, again, I'm being picky. You may get a lot of judges, Kenzie, that don't even mention her hind leg. For me, it's a little on the edge in terms of her hock. What saves her is how darn good her feet are, though. And so that female in her own breed, and that Shorthorn breed, I promise you, she's going to win you a lot of prizes, and I'm sure she already has. So, very nice cattle. I'm going to go with McKenna's heifer today, just a little safer for me. She'll be my champion.
Champion junior heifer in the English division is Miss McKenna Moore. I'm going to need another heifer of Kenzie's, second place out of that class, to come back for your reserve champion.
Kenzie, to save you the trouble, since you have both of them, it was a neck and neck battle between that Angus and this Shorthorn. This is going to be my reserve right here. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Okay, for the selection of our champion English, of the champion summer heifer, I need Chloe Thomas. For the junior heifer calf division, I need Miss Libby Perez. Out of the senior heifer calf in the English division, I need Peyton Perez. And out of the junior heifers in the English, I need Miss McKenna Moore. This will be the selection of your champion English heifer of your 2025 Bi-County Stock Show.
All right, congratulations here to all of our division winners. We had a really nice British show. I thought all four of these cattle were very, very good. We've got Chloe's little heifer up front that's kind of skinny right now, kind of skinny in her belly, but you can see the feet and leg structure is there and the extension to really make a good one. Libby there with their heifer that's, peeing at just the right time. Again, I've talked and bragged about that one's quality, and I do love it. I would square her down in her ankle. I haven't said that yet, but I would do that just a bit. Peyton, your heifer, again, chunky and good functional livestock. And then we ended with McKenna's big Angus heifer that I just love the feet and leg structure on for an Angus heifer, and I like her dimension and her broodiness, just no major problems. And so it's been a nice lineup here. I'm going to use McKenna's heifer to be my champion.
In the English division, heifer would be Miss McKenna Moore. I need Miss Kenzie Thomas with the reserve champion junior heifer.
Well, I've already bragged on the shorthorn. I'm not going to talk to her anymore, Kenzie, but I think she's pretty special. I think all the cattle out here are very unique. Just to be transparent with my decision making, because you want to know when it's close. I think even if you don't win the coin toss, I think it's close between Libby's little heifer there, the polled Hereford, I think she's a polled, and then your shorthorn. And I said it a second ago, I would square that Hereford down, Libby. Going away, she rolls on her ankle just a fraction. I'm not talking much. The other heifer, I've talked about her hock just a little bit. Today, just studying the uniqueness of each one. That one's design is very electric. This one's design is also very dynamic from the side, but she brings a little more boldness and power to the table. I like your heifer, Kenzie, to be my reserve selection today.
Reserve champion in the English division goes to Miss Kenzie Thomas. Congratulations to those young ladies. Now we're going to have the overall champion of your heifer show, your 2025 stock show. A champion exotic, I'm going to need Miss Chloe Thomas. The champion English, I need Miss McKenna Moore. Your reserve champion exotic goes to Kenzie Thomas, and your reserve English goes to Kenzie Thomas. So for the champion of our selection of our grand overall, I need Miss Chloe and Miss McKenna. Back to the ring, please. While we have a break here, again, folks, I'd like to recognize Dr. Rathman for coming up from Lubbock. It's quite the privilege to have this man judge your stock show and talk to your youth. As you noticed, he spent more time visiting with your kiddos. He was evaluating the livestock the whole time he was talking to them, folks, but he was brightening the future of your youth by visiting with them and making them relax and putting his time and effort into it. And I greatly appreciate him coming up and doing that. If we could give Dr. Rathman a round of applause for coming up to Dalhart for us today. Again in the ring, we have Miss McKenna Moore with her champion English heifer, and we have Miss Chloe Thomas with our champion exotic. These two young ladies are competing for your grand champion heifer of your 2025 Bi-County Stock Show.
Yeah, we had a nice little heifer show, didn't we? We had a lot of just great kids, but a good set of stock. You know, when you're comparing in a county show like this, sometimes it's actually a little bit tougher because you're comparing Shorthorns to Angus or Angus to Herefords and, you know, everything in between. And so for me, and I tell my students this all the time, when they get themselves in situations in a grand drive or like this where you're already comparing them before that, across different breeds, in your mind, what you're doing, to me at least, is trying to figure out within their respective population who ranks higher, you know, relative to the mean of their population. So, you know, that's a very subjective call. A lot of times, it's not always evident, and so, you know, it makes it fun. It's a good thinking day. But mainly the focus here is on the kids and what they can accomplish with these cattle in the future. And I thought y'all brought a lot of good cattle that have just a lot of promise from a breeding cow standpoint. Now the fun project will be for each of y'all, and I really strongly challenge each of y'all to you know, observe what sires exist in y'all's breeds and what you think is the best match for your animal. Because nowadays these cattle are worth so much money, y'all have a real opportunity to have a very profitable project. But it's going to be dependent on the homework that you put in on making these decisions and then the effort and work that it takes to get them pregnant and settled with good semen. And so that's the real project. This is just, you know, 1% of probably the totality of what y'all stand to gain and learn through this exercise. So I won't go through and talk them. I do think they're all really nice here. For me today, and it is a close call, I do think, but I like the function and the safety, the reliability from a structural standpoint of one of these two, and I think they're both still good in that regard. But McKenna, your heifer is going to be my champion. Congratulations to you. All right, now we got Kenzie versus Chloe. Yeah, we're to that point in the road once again, just like the steer show. And both of them are very good. You know, I think they're both incredibly intriguing cattle in terms of their body cavity, the way they flow together. There's a little more bone, maybe, and a little bit stouter, square pin set in Kenzie's. And for that reason, I do like her. We're going to go that direction with the Shorthorn, and Kenzie's here to be our reserve grand.
Going to take about a 5-minute break here. Let these kids take a breather for just a second, and we're going to roll right into our junior showmanship. About a 5-minute break, we're going to have junior showmanship. believe we're gonna start with the juniors and roll into our intermediates and on into our seniors. Grades 3 through 5 will be our juniors.
I think the last thing I got was TRS. I could do it in 29. I'm not good with trying just because that'd be an even 6. That'd be even 6.
Set the big boy chair.
All right. Hey, let's put our hands together, congratulate all of our youngsters out here. This is what it's all about. Here's with this age bracket of kids that are getting started. And man, we've got some players in the ring, and I mean that in a very complimentary way in regards to just watching the natural ability. You know, you can see certain kids are born to excel in certain areas. Nobody excels in it all. Some kids are athletes, some kids, they have their function in UIL or otherwise, and then some kids are born to show livestock. And to me, there's just a lot of naturals out here that were born to do this, and I can tell just by their actions and their hustle how much they love it and want it. And so it's going to be exciting for y'all here in this community to watch each and every one of these young people grow and develop and just continue to add confidence. I'll quickly go through and just tell you what I like about each one of them and then place a top three. So Braxton is up front here, and I really like the way, Braxton, that you get out in front of your heifer when we were leading. It's often not talked about, but your job is to be the leader of your animal. And most of the time, if you train them in that manner, livestock will cooperate more effectively. They'll lead more effectively. You don't walk beside her, you were walking out in front of her. I noticed that. I don't know if you're intentionally doing that. I bet you were, but that was the right way to do it, and I really, really did value that. As you're operating up there, I think just continue to get more relaxed as you're setting her up, and that heifer there will be more relaxed and chill as well. I thought you did a great job. Peyton there does a magnificent job. Peyton, I love where you stand. You're out in front of the nose of that heifer. I like your general tempo. You know, you can get a little excited when the adrenaline's running, but you don't. You're very chill, and you're just very even keel, and so you're very composed. And so that's gonna be very important for you, not just in showing livestock, but in all areas of other activities and then beyond that I know you're going to participate and excel in. So I like the way that you pay attention to getting that tail in. She tucks it pretty good. And so, but it's hard to see in the driver's seat up there whether it's off of her or not. And so you just check that, and that's good. I would say, Peyton, every once in a while she gets maybe just a little shorter coupled in terms of her feet and legs. And so you may have to pull her up just a step just to get her to stretch out. She is such a moderate, dense little rig that, if she gives up anything, it's more so probably just extension. So I think you might stretch her just a fraction more. Chloe's coming around here, and Chloe, you're very seasoned. I've really enjoyed watching you operate. If y'all watch right there, just the way that she immediately starts taking the last couple of steps by switching her hand and walking that heifer while she's kind of walking backwards into being set. I'll be honest, Chloe, you're showing like you're more in the senior bracket, in my opinion. This young lady does a great job, just like Peyton there, of getting out in front of the heifer's nose and standing where she needs to. But I just really liked how you switch those hands and bring yourself into being set, where you position yourself, and then you have such good posture. Most of us around the ring don't have near as good a posture as you. Just the way you stand and your body language communicates a lot of confidence, and so I appreciate that about you. You have a beautiful smile when you need that too, but otherwise you're all business and very serious and communicate that confidence. I really have enjoyed watching Libby there in the pink sweater. Libby, you're a cute little young lady, and you do a very professional job. You are really going to do a lot of good here showing stock in the coming years, and you already are. Just like Chloe that I was bragging on, your ability to get out in front of them, to keep nudging that head and neck, just like Peyton's doing it too, is very good. This heifer is not as domestic as the other ones yet. She's still got to get more miles on the tire before she just perfectly holds still for you. But you have really maintained a good low level of adrenaline that has encouraged that female to cooperate as well as she possibly can. You too, I like the way you switch hands and kind of bring her into being set. I thought you've done a marvelous job, Libby. You should be very proud of yourself. The young man next, Brooks. Brooks, I really like the job you do in terms of, just your intensity. I would say you're maybe just a little faster on the stick at times, which is fine. This heifer is probably one where you've got to get her a little bit more alert at times, because she's kind of that deep, a little bit chubbier kind that doesn't have that long giraffe neck. And so getting a little more alert with that one is probably most complimentary to that heifer. And I like how you loin her when she needs to. She's maybe at times got to be set just a fraction square. You two tuck in that tail, and that's really good. You don't see many young people y'all's age. We've seen pretty much every one of them out here trying to address that situation. Sophie, you're done a great job down here as well. You got a beautiful smile, and you do a good job getting out in front of your heifer like you are now. And she works and behaves very good for you because you're just at the right tempo and speed and intensity. You're kind of in a tough spot over here in the ring. Brooks was in it just a second ago. It's hard to know what to do in the corner, isn't it? And so what I would tell you is you want to have your heifer angled where you're as perpendicular as you possibly can relative to the judge. You understand perpendicular? Yeah? Okay. I didn't know where we're at in terms of math yet. All right, so, have her like this, in that way, when I'm standing over here kind of in the center, Sophie, then that heifer profiles as square to me as you possibly can, okay? Circle her back and probably put her right there. That's kind of a tough ask because it's hard to know what to do when you get caught in the corner. The other kids didn't have to figure out what to do right there. So all of them did a marvelous job. One more time, if y'all don't mind, let's put our hands together and congratulate all of these kids out there. I thought they did a wonderful job. I'm going to go from third to first. My third place showman is going to be Peyton right here. Let's give him a nice round of applause. My second place showman is going to be Libby, and my champion showman is going to be Chloe. Congratulations.
Champion junior showman of your 2025 cattle show is Chloe Thomas. Second place is Libby Perez, and third place is Peyton Perez. Congratulations to all three of these individuals. Flat out, lights out job of getting it done in a very, very heated class of junior showmen. Let's congratulate them with a round of applause. Next up will be intermediate showman, grades 6 through 8. Then we will have senior showmanship, and a surprise to me was following that, we're going to have Pee Wee showman.
right, another exceptional heat. I thought y'all did a fantastic job. Y'all's cattle are, for the most part, cooperating pretty good. Dirk, your heifer is still stubborn. That hadn't changed, but all the cattle have been behaving pretty good. And y'all are very close. There's a lot of tight decisions. You know, showmanship is subjective to begin with, but I'm sure you know, if you're paying attention that, you know, each of us would maybe have different selections, and fairly so based upon how good of a job y'all done. Mia, you do a really nice job just in terms of, you know, not over showing. You don't poke legs too much. You do most of it with a halter, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate where you stand. I don't know if does he like being scratched in the belly or the chest better? Belly? Yeah. That's what I was kind of figuring. Most animals, you know, you like to scratch them in between their front legs so that way you can position your body out in front of them. And it's maybe a little easier to maybe maneuver the neck and head where they need to be. But some of them just don't like that, and so then you've got to kind of adapt. And so I think you've been doing a great job and always had that calf set very squarely. He maybe at times ducks his neck a little bit. You may have to figure out, without, you know, making him get where he doesn't stand still, but get him where his neck throws back a little higher off the top of his blade to maximize the look that he's got there. McKenna, you've been doing a good job. You're very smooth. I like the way you nudge right there, just like you showed everybody. You know, there's a time or two where this heifer will get a little bit stretched on you. And then again, there are times where, you know, she's got to be loined just ever so slightly. Just don't do it too aggressive or it kicks that tail head up. I've forgotten your name. Tell me when. Camber, that's right, I'm sorry. Camber, you're doing a good job. You know, you're standing where you need to be. This heifer, you don't poke the legs too much. I'm not a fan of poking legs. You just kind of got her set up and thrown the head up, done good. You know, when we're leading them, I didn't move all the way around, so I may be lying just a little bit, but I was just watching the way that she has a tendency to pull her nose back towards your arm. You may give her just a few more inches of slack. Whenever you're leading her, or when you're here on the profile, just Camber nudging her nose towards me just a little bit. You don't want it carrying back towards you. But if you get them too tight right there when you're holding in terms of slack, then they'll constantly be doing that, and then it throws their front end structure off because then they're kind of, you know, constantly kind of moving horizontal instead of just going straight forward and really reaching out of their front end. I'm being very picky. That's a minor thing. I think you did an exceptional job. Brendan, you're doing good. Your heifer's trying to give up on you, but you do a very nice job. I would tell you that this heifer and you work very good together. Y'all really don't do anything wrong. I would just continue to exude more confidence just in terms of, because you're doing a great job, so you should be very confident about what you're doing. So just in terms of intensity and your strokes with your stick and just, given that look, I would just continue to elevate your intensity just a little bit, I guess would be my main message. I thought you did great. Bristol, you're doing good. That heifer holds her tail off of her butt. I don't know if you can see it where you're at. I love where you're at in terms of out front of her, but you're so far from there. You maybe every once in a while got to reach back and hook the tail or beside it and bring it to her. Those cattle that stick their tail up like that, it just really detracts from their balance, obviously. This heifer, she wants to duck her neck. You may too as well have to every once in a while kind of give her some slack or elevate just to get that neck a little higher up out of her blade. Excuse me. Dirk, you're doing a good job, bud. Like I said, you have probably the worst teammate out here. I don't think there's any arguing that. So if we're going to gauge them like a rodeo where the animal's 50% of the score, she's not helping you. But I think you're doing really good, and I can tell that you're a very good showman. And so, if there's going to be a tough one out here, you're probably the man to handle it. And so I would just keep working hard, get her more broke. I think you do a fine job. Young man, you do a great job. I like where you stood. I like how you walked your cattle. I loved your intensity. There was maybe one time, not now, but one time over here where she got a little stretched on you, or maybe just got to collect her up just a shot faster. But I thought you did an excellent job. You were right in the thick of things. And Kinsey, you were very automatic over here, just where this young lady stands and the way she communicates her confidence with her body, and then just has a heifer that's pretty automatic in terms of the way she shows. She too, every once in a while, Kinsey, to be fair, will lift her tail a little off her butt. So you may have to reach back there and kind of pull it into her. So, but I thought you did a marvelous job. As far as deciding then on the top three, I thought we had a lot of great candidates out here that did a very, very nice job in terms of their level of showmanship. And so it was tough for me to choose. I like the young lady right here, Camry, to be my third individual. Let's give her a nice round of applause. Mia, you're going to be my reserve. And then Kenzie's going to be my championship.
Champion intermediate showman is Kenzie Thomas. Second place intermediate showman is Mia Burns. And third place intermediate showman is Cambry Limbs. Congratulations to all three of these young ladies. Put your hands together for them.
When it comes out being all red, trust me.
My wallet's big enough to make my pocket.
All right, we got the battle of the genders here. And representing the guys, we have Judd. Representing the gals, we got Allie. And so the crowd's probably split on who they like. Both of y'all are incredible. I think both of y'all, truthfully, are very, very elite and deserve to win. Judd, I like your intensity. You know, this little heifer calf's a little bit, you know, younger, obviously, but a little less seasoned. And so her willingness to just elevate her neck on top of her shoulder or really perfectly square herself on her front legs is more of a challenge. I think you do a remarkable job, though, just the way you command, you know, yourself here in the ring, where you position yourself, and the way you get their back leg set and get the heifer to loin. Allie, your calf is a little more automatic right now. You have trained them well. You're very smooth, very consistent, and both of y'all bring your cattle in. They weren't maybe perfectly willing to just walk initially into being set, neither one of them, but you probably got yours set up just a little faster, but that calf's a little bit more seasoned. So I like your smoothness and I like your tempo very, very well. Both of y'all are very good. Allie, you're going to be my champion today, and Jed, you'll be my reserve. Congratulations to you.
Champion Senior Showman, Allie Burns. Reserve Champion Senior Showman, Judd Daniels.
Up next is the Pee Wee County Showmanship.
think this is the quietest and most serious the show's been so far. Feel like there's more on the line right now than at any point in time this afternoon. And it's been pretty laid back. We're starting to cook it up here. These three little young ladies can flat out show. Let's give them a big round of applause and make a little noise for them. I think any one of the three of y'all could have won senior showmanship. Yeah, it was good. Very good. All right, now comes the part where I'm the bad guy. I want you parents to know I love every one of your children. And here in Pee Wee Showmanship, though, because we believe in competition, we'll still name a champion, I presume. Cameron, you're an exceptional little showman. Look at you, you're just Little Miss Automatic. You just walked over there and set that heifer up perfectly. Didn't have to move a single leg. That was awesome. Briley in the middle did a great job. Got her heifer loined a second ago. Led her with confidence. Briley, that was a fantastic job showing. I was really proud of you. Maisie, you and versus your sisters. Y'all got a good team there. All three of y'all show excellent. By watching them, I'm sure you've learned a lot, and it looks like you're going to show just as good or even better than they are. This is a very impressive job by you here, and I'm sure you're looking forward to next year when you're 9 years old, just like Briley, to show, and not just be in the Pee Wee category. So you did a great job. How much do you think that calf's head weighs? A lot? I was hoping you'd come up with a number. Yeah, before Kevin said just a lot. That's a safe answer. I thought we'd get that old calf. He's got a little bit of a heavier head, so he's just one you got to keep holding it up. I liked how you squared up that front leg a second ago. It was kind of a little back, and you pulled it right up, and so that was a good job in the right place. So, hey, all three of y'all did a great job. I wish I had buckles for all of you, but I think just based on being the most mistake-free, we're going to go with Cameron up here. She's going to be the champion.
Your champion Pee Wee Showman, Cameron Thomas. Again, folks, I'd like to put a round of applause together for Dr. Ryan Rathman for coming and evaluating your livestock and educating your children today, because it's been a blessing to listen to him and watch him work today. So thank you very much.